Well, who expected that? Hi, welcome back to the Jonesy Chats Wrestling YouTube channel. My name is Steve. I'm your host today. I'm going to be reviewing the NXT episode from last night, and my God, did we end the show with a shock? Let's get into it. I'm going to be implementing a new rating system now for every match. I'm going to simply state if it is NXT or NOT. It's basically just going to tell you whether or not to go back or watch it or not, really. First up, the number one contenders match for the women's NXT tag team titles. Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. Fire. This match is fire. I'm not even going to justify trying to go over it. Just simply fire. Go back and watch this. The match ends with Io Shirai hitting the moonsault off the top rope. They pick up the pinfall. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai are going to move on to next week in the Great American Bash. They're going to take on Candice and Indy for them NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. If I'm going to rate this NXT or NOT, this one, NXT. Cut backstage with Johnny Gargano attacking Karrion Kross. This is an playback from last week. Come back from the commercial break, and it's announced the next NXT Breakout style tournament. Fantastic. I love tournaments. And the last one, I don't know if any of you remember, won by Jordan Miles. Whoever wins the tournament gets a title shot at their opportunity. This is basically NXT's equivalent to, say, Money in the Bank. So yeah, with this one, say Jordan Miles went last time. He challenged Adam Cole. He lost the match, but say yeah, it's just a way to build up, like say, 8 brand new wrestlers. That starts in 2 weeks. We didn't get a Bronson Reed interview. This is shortly cut out by Hit Row. They come in. Swerve just basically challenges him for the NXT North American Championship, and it gets confirmed later on. Title match on the line, main event, NXT North American Championship, Bronson Reed versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Kross comes down to the ring at this point. He is pissed because obviously Johnny's attacked him earlier on in the night. He calls Johnny out. Austin jumps Kross from behind. Obviously you can see it coming with the way everything was happening. At the one point, Kross looks like he's trying to kill Johnny Gargano with the ring steps before security head down with Joe to break it up. As security holding back Kross, Johnny delivers a sweet super kick and sort of scarpers off in the distance. And you get Joe and Kross just staring at each other like dead-eyed. I don't know what this is going to lead to. Like, I don't know what feud they're building here, because there just seems to be this interaction with Kross and Joe, and yeah, where it's going, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. We come back from the commercial break and we get the first of 3 battery charging promos. Tonight we get 61, 71, and 81%. So you get next week, whoever that's going to be. Like I was saying to you last week, it could be Ridge Holland. It could be Kona Reeves, or maybe even I've heard another one. It could be Tegan Nox making her return finally. I don't know where it's going to play out, but I presume it's going to be sort of at the end of a match. You're just going to see this promo pop up. It's going to go to 100%, and that's it. We're going to get whoever it is. We then get our next match of the night, and my God, I think this faction has already lost its shine. It's Dimond Mine's Roderick Strong. He's taking on Asher Hale. It's a very, very short match. On the plus side, Hideki Suzuki is actually given a name now. His name is now Hachi Man. This is just a pointless match. This is NOT, this one. Hale ends up tapping out. Bivens gives, frankly, a dead promo at the end of it. I know a lot of people rave about Bivens and what he can do, but yeah, this promo was not a good way to start. It just basically says this is Diamond Mine and there's more to come. It's a dead promo. After the next commercial break, our next match of the night, Cameron Grimes versus Ari Starling. This is the guy that Cameron Grimes sucker punched in the car park last week. This is a really, really good match. This is a great display from Ari Starling. He manages to pull off this unique sort of springboard moonsault where he's actually sitting on the top rope and goes backwards to the outside to Grimes. Fantastic looking spot. So I imagine Ari Sterling's going to be one of the competitors for the NXT Breakout tournament. But eventually Grimes hits him with the cave-in. This match is NXT. Go and check this out. LA Knight then comes out afterwards, and they're still obviously living out this $1 million feud. Grimes eventually challenges him, and he says, next week at Great American Bash, I want to face you for that championship. LA Knight initially says no, but then he realizes that he can benefit from this. And this is kind of where I thought they would go one way, but they've gone the complete opposite. So obviously with Grimes having all the money from his stocks and stuff, and Knight having the $1 million championship, I thought it would have been a case of $1 million championship versus millions of dollars. So if Grimes lost, he has to give Knight his money. But instead, it turns out to be that if Grimes loses, he has to become LA Knight's butler. And I think this is just a stupid gimmick. I think it would have given it more of a sort of, you don't know who's going to win if it was money versus championship title. But now it's foretold, man. So I can just see Grimes picking up the title next week. We come back from the next commercial break, and Stark and Shirai being interviewed backstage. Candice and Indy interrupt. It's basically just hyping up the match next week for the women's titles. There's one qualm with it. I just really wish Zoe Stark would do something with her gear, because it's just plain, you're an NXT superstar. Like if you look at everyone else's ring gear, there's like patterns and stuff to it, or like writing or something. And Zoe just comes out in this sort of generic, plain, sort of off-the-shelf wrestling gear. And yeah, I just wish you would, like, I don't know, maybe next week, because obviously being sort of a kind of pay-per-view with Great American Bash, we might get something special. But yeah, I think Zoe Stark needs now is just new ring gear. We head down to the ring for Kyle O'Reilly. He calls out Adam Cole. They want to discuss their match coming up next week. Cole comes out very shortly, followed by Joe, because obviously he doesn't want anything to happen. Cole basically says that all of Kyle O'Reilly's success is down to Adam Cole. And he even brings Carl's wife into it and says, even your wife knows it's true. Carl is enraged. As this sort of confrontation comes to an end, they sort of back away from each other. Joe steps in between, but Carl goes to swing. Joe has to duck out of the way. Carl reverses it and manages to get him into a submission hold. And Adam is pleading with Joe to break up this submission, but Joe just stands there and watches it. And it's like, nah, you got yourself into that one. Eventually, Joe leaves and security come down to break it all up. O'Reilly's saying that he feels he's going to be an NXT champion one day. I think a lot of his hype has dropped since they split up the Undisputed Era. Like when he was part of that faction and like people were having him as a real top baby face, but I just feel like some of the heat's gone from behind that. I don't personally think he's going to pick up this title until Adam Cole wins it. I think that's going to be the point at where Kyle O'Reilly will become your next NXT champion. We can get a short T and Shaw segment with Neo from the Matrix standing in the background. We come back from the next commercial break. We get Hit Row hyping up Swerve for today's main event match. We then get the mixed tag team match of Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez versus Boa and Xia Li of T and Shaw. And oh dear God, this was not good. The match itself until the end was building, it was getting there. But unfortunately, Xia Li hits Mercedes Martinez with that roundhouse kick that she does. And I think she connected too well, because you just see Martinez drop and she face plants the mat. Xia Li goes for the pin, but you can tell that Mercedes just looks concussed. It gets broken up, the camera pans away, the ref obviously throws up the X, and the match gets announced as a no contest. Further update is apparently she's been taken to hospital for further checks, but man, she looked concussed. This match, NOT for that finish. We then get Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher and versus MSK in their face-off before their tag team match next week. Ciampa is all fired up. He says that no one can elevate a championship like he can, and the crowd is so behind Ciampa at this point that MSK, it looks like they're turning them heel, because every time they speak, they just got booed. National Wins basically say, at the end of the day, you're coming into this as challengers and you have to pay respect to us because we're the champs. Nash then slaps Ciampa, which enrages Thatcher. Ciampa doesn't do anything apart from stopping Thatcher from attacking them both, and he gets right up close to Nash's ear and he says, next week we'll see. He said, I'll let you go with that one. You get that one for free. And yeah, hard man, fire promo from Ciampa here. But yeah, that match, I'll tell you, is going to be fire next week. We then get Regal being interviewed in his office by Mackenzie, just hyping up Great American Bash, really. Sarai enters and she says that she'd like a match with Toni Storm. Regal says he'll think about it. So yeah, it's good to see Sarai actually being like going in here and getting matches. And again, it's good to see Toni Storm, but Toni Storm needs to start getting wins, man. She's just not getting enough wins for me. Come back from the commercial break, we get that final 81% battery charge video. We then get Johnny and Austin jumping Cross in the car park as he's trying to leave in his Dodge Charger. Cross inevitably puts both of them to shame. He manages to put Johnny in a choke and takes him out. He uses that big forearm and nags at Austin, and then him and Scarlett drive off in his car. Camera pans round and Joey's holding Johnny up by the scruff of his neck and says, tonight, I think you just pushed him a little bit too far. And on to your main event, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Bronson Reed for that NXT North American Championship. Was not expecting the outcome of this match. One good spot in the middle of the match, you've got Swerve trying to do a sort of sunset flip powerbomb off the apron to Reed. Reed doesn't budge, and he just sits down straight on Swerve, and he's sort of bent his back, arched over that ring apron, and oh God, man, I would hate to have been in that position because that looked like that hurt. On to the end of the match though, and Hit Row inevitably get involved. At this point, Top Dollar tries to attack Reed, who's on the outside. Reed moves out the way, makes Top Dollar fly straight over the top of the barricade and through one of them plastic cases that's around the edge. Ashante Theodonis at this point is just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Reed throws him over. As Reed goes to climb back in, Swerve manages to hit him with that drive-by drop kick. It's a rebound 450 splash off the top rope to Reed, who's draped over that bottom rope still. He pins him. Isaiah Swerve Scott is your new North American champion. I mean, damn, was not expecting that to happen. Makes a hell of a lot of sense, especially with Bronson Reed being rumored to be going up soon, but was just not expecting to happen tonight. This match, NXT. Go back and watch it. Simply fantastic. And that's it. That's the end of the show. A really, really good show. Done a lot to hype up for next week. Say sort of sort of a B-level pay-per-view kind of feel with Great American Bash. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next week. Loads of really good matches coming up. On to some other news before we go. WWE have registered the trademark for Happy Corbin. This means Baron Corbin is going to get some dead gimmick. Oh, I can't even comprehend what this is going to be, but I just got a feeling it's going to be really, really bad. Reasoning behind Nikki Cross's name change. She looks to be going now from Nikki Cross to Nikki Ash because Karrion Kross may be going up to the main roster. So they obviously don't want two superstars with the same surname. So yeah, that could be the reason behind that going forward. And last but not least, some good news to end the show on. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins reportedly got married yesterday. Congratulations to you both. Hope you have a lovely life together. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Smash the like, subscribe up here, watch another one up here, and I hope to see you in the next one.